Maya Chen sat alone at table 12, watching couples glide across the dance floor while she tried to make herself invisible. She didn't belong here. Not at this five-star hotel ballroom filled with women in designer gowns and men in custom suits. Her simple navy dress from a thrift store suddenly felt like a costume. Maya was 31 years old, a single mother raising her 7-year-old son Daniel all by herself. She worked 2 jobs, as a waitress during the day and a grocery store cashier at night, just to keep the lights on and pay for Daniel's leukemia treatments. Every dollar mattered. Every penny counted. She'd only come to this wedding because her best friend Jessica was the bride's cousin and had practically begged her. "Maya, you never go anywhere. You need one night to yourself. Please come. Just for a few hours." So here she was, surrounded by strangers who drove cars that cost more than her entire year's rent, feeling completely out of place. If you want to see how this night changes everything, hit that subscribe button right now because what happens next is absolutely unbelievable. Maya took a sip of her water and checked her phone. A text from Mrs. Park, her neighbor who was watching Daniel. "He's sleeping peacefully. Don't worry. Enjoy yourself." But Maya couldn't enjoy herself. She was calculating in her head. Daniel's next round of chemotherapy was in 2 weeks. The insurance barely covered half. She needed $3,000. Where was she going to get $3,000? Suddenly, a man slid into the chair next to her. Maya looked up, startled, and her breath caught in her throat. He was tall, maybe late 30s, with dark hair perfectly styled, wearing a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her car. His jawline was sharp, his eyes a piercing blue, and there was something desperate in his expression. "I need your help," he whispered urgently. Maya blinked. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" The man glanced across the ballroom, then back at her. "My name is Alexander Hayes. And I know this is going to sound absolutely insane, but I need you to pretend to be my wife. Tonight. Just for a few hours." Maya's mouth fell open. Alexander Hayes. She'd seen his face on business magazines at the grocery store. He was the CEO of Hayes Global Technologies, worth billions. What was he doing talking to her? Now let me ask you something. If a billionaire offered you money to pretend to be his wife for one night, would you do it? Drop your honest answer in the comments. "I'm sorry, what?" Maya stammered, looking around to see if this was some kind of joke. Alexander leaned closer, his voice low and urgent. "My ex-fiancée just walked in with her new boyfriend. Victoria Chen, yes, same last name as you, pure coincidence, she's over there in the red dress. She broke off our engagement 6 months ago because she said I was too focused on work and not enough on her. Now she's here, at my business partner's wedding, deliberately trying to humiliate me in front of everyone I know." Maya followed his gaze and saw a stunning woman in a crimson gown, laughing loudly and hanging on the arm of a man who looked like a movie star. "I still don't understand what this has to do with me," Maya said. Alexander reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a stack of $100 bills. He placed it on the table between them. $10,000. Cash. Right now. All you have to do is sit with me, dance with me, and let everyone here think you're my wife. Let Victoria see that I've moved on. That I'm happy." Maya stared at the money. $10,000. That was more than 3 months of Daniel's treatments. That was groceries for half a year. That was the difference between keeping their apartment and losing it. Her hands trembled. I can't. I don't know how to act like a billionaire's wife. Look at me. Look at this dress. Everyone here will know I'm a fraud." Alexander's expression softened. For the first time, he really looked at her. At her kind eyes, her nervous hands, the way she held herself like someone who carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. "You're beautiful," he said simply. "And you have something none of these people have, you're real. That's all I need tonight. Someone real." Maya's heart pounded. She thought about Daniel in his hospital bed, his little bald head from the chemotherapy, his brave smile even when she knew he was in pain. She thought about the medical bills stacked on her kitchen counter. She thought about how she'd been praying for a miracle. "Just a few hours," she asked quietly. "Just a few hours. I promise. Then you take the money and go home. No strings attached." Maya took a deep breath. "Okay. I'll do it." Alexander's face lit up with relief. He stood and offered her his hand. "Then let's make this convincing, Mrs. Hayes." Maya stood up, her legs shaky, and took his hand. It was warm and strong, and the moment their fingers touched, something electric passed between them. Something neither of them expected. Alexander led Maya onto the dance floor just as a slow song began to play. He placed one hand on her waist and held her other hand gently. Maya's heart was racing so fast she was sure everyone could hear it. "Just follow my lead," Alexander whispered. "And try to look like you're enjoying yourself." "I'm terrified," Maya admitted. So am I, Alexander said, and for some reason, that made Maya smile. They began to dance, and Maya was surprised to find that Alexander was an excellent dancer. He guided her smoothly across the floor, and slowly, she began to relax. Tell me about yourself, Alexander said. If we're supposed to be married, I should probably know something real about you. Maya hesitated. I'm a single mom. My son Daniel is 7. He has leukemia. That's why I'm doing this. The money is for his treatments. Alexander's expression changed. The desperation in his eyes was replaced by something else, respect, maybe even admiration. I'm sorry. That must be incredibly hard. It is, Maya said honestly. But he's my everything. I'd do anything for him. That's what makes you braver than anyone in this room, Alexander said. Before Maya could respond, a sharp voice cut through the music. Alexander? Is that you? They both turned. Victoria stood there in her red dress, her eyes narrowed, a fake smile plastered on her perfect face. Victoria, Alexander said smoothly. What a surprise to see you here. Victoria's gaze shifted to Maya, scanning her from head to toe with barely concealed disdain. And who is this? Alexander pulled Maya closer, his arm wrapping protectively around her waist. This is my wife, Maya. Maya Hayes. Victoria's eyes went wide. Your wife? You got married? 3 months ago, Alexander said without missing a beat. Quiet ceremony. Just close family. We wanted to keep it private. Make sure you're subscribed because the drama is about to get intense. Victoria's smile became even more forced. How wonderful. I had no idea. You certainly moved on quickly. When you know, Alexander said, looking down at Maya with such convincing warmth that even Maya almost believed it. Victoria's boyfriend stepped forward, extending his hand. Congratulations, man. I'm Derek Lawson. Alexander shook his hand firmly. Alexander Hayes. And this is Maya, the love of my life. Maya felt her cheeks burning. The love of his life? This was all pretend, but the way Alexander looked at her when he said it felt real. Victoria wasn't finished. So Maya, what do you do? I don't think I've seen you at any of the usual social events. This was it. The moment Maya had been dreading. She could feel everyone watching her, waiting for her answer. Maya's throat went dry. What was she supposed to say? That she was a waitress and a cashier? That she'd never been to a social event in her life? That this dress cost $15 from a thrift store? But before panic could fully set in, Alexander squeezed her hand gently. Maya is a children's advocate, he said smoothly. She works with families dealing with pediatric illnesses. It's volunteer work, mostly. She's incredible at it. It wasn't entirely a lie. Maya did spend every spare moment she had at the hospital with Daniel, and she'd helped other parents navigate the confusing world of insurance and treatments. But Alexander made it sound so much more impressive than it was. Victoria raised an eyebrow. How noble. That must be so fulfilling. The condescension in her voice was obvious, but Maya decided she'd had enough of being looked down on. She straightened her shoulders and met Victoria's gaze directly. It is, Maya said firmly. My son has leukemia. So I know firsthand what these families go through. Every day is a battle, and every small victory matters. It's taught me what's really important in life, and what's not. The implied criticism hung in the air. Victoria's smile faltered. Alexander looked at Maya with genuine surprise and something that looked like pride. That's one of the things I love most about her, he added. She reminds me what actually matters. Victoria's face hardened. Well, it's getting late. Lovely to meet you, Maya. Alexander, I hope you're very happy. There was venom in those last words, but Alexander just smiled. I am. Happier than I've ever been. As Victoria and Derek walked away, Maya let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. That was horrible. That was perfect, Alexander said. You were amazing. The way you stood up to her, I couldn't have asked for better. Maya laughed nervously. I probably shouldn't have implied she's shallow. She is shallow, Alexander said. You just had the courage to say it. The song ended, and Alexander led Maya off the dance floor. Come on, let's get some air. They walked out onto a balcony overlooking the city. The night air was cool and refreshing. For a moment, they stood in comfortable silence. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Why did Victoria really leave you? Alexander leaned against the railing. She said I loved my company more than I loved her. And maybe she was right. After my father died, I threw myself into work. Hayes Global was his legacy, and I was determined to make it even bigger, even better. I worked 80-hour weeks. I missed dinners, missed trips, missed her. Do you regret it? Maya asked. Alexander was quiet for a long moment. I regret that I didn't realize what I was losing until it was gone. But I don't regret the work itself. Building something meaningful, that matters to me. Daniel is my meaningful thing, Maya said softly. Everything I do is for him. So I understand. Alexander turned to look at her. You really are remarkable, you know that? Maya felt her cheeks flush. You don't even know me. Maybe not. But I know enough. Before Maya could respond, Alexander's phone buzzed. He pulled it out and frowned. It's my assistant. There's an emergency at the office. I have to go. Maya's heart sank. Did that mean their agreement was over? Would she still get the money? Alexander must have seen the worry on her face because he immediately reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Here. 10,000, as promised. Thank you, Maya. You saved me tonight. Maya took the envelope with shaking hands. Thank you. You have no idea what this means. Actually, Alexander said, I think I do. Have you ever met someone who changed your perspective in just one night? Let me know in the comments. Maya called a taxi and went home, clutching the envelope like her life depended on it, because it did. When she walked into her small apartment, Mrs. Park was waiting. How was the wedding? She asked with a knowing smile. Complicated, Maya said honestly. After Mrs. Park left, Maya checked on Daniel. He was sleeping peacefully, his small chest rising and falling steadily. She kissed his forehead and whispered, everything's going to be okay now, baby. Mommy's got you. The next morning, Maya was at the hospital making a payment on Daniel's treatments when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Maya? This is Alexander Hayes. Maya's heart skipped. Mr. Hayes? Is everything okay? I need to see you. Can we meet for coffee? An hour later, Maya sat across from Alexander at an upscale cafe, feeling out of place all over again in her waitress uniform. I've been thinking about last night, Alexander began. About what you said about Daniel, about meaningful work. And I have a proposal for you. Another one? Maya asked nervously. Alexander smiled. Hayes Global has been wanting to start a charitable foundation focused on pediatric care. After meeting you, I think I finally know how to do it right. I want you to run it. Maya nearly choked on her coffee. What? I'm not qualified. I'm a waitress, Mr. Hayes. I don't have a degree in nonprofit management or, you have something better, Alexander interrupted. You have lived experience. You know what families need because you are one of those families. I don't need someone with an MBA. I need someone with a heart. Someone like you. I don't understand, Maya whispered. The salary is $100,000 a year, Alexander continued. Full benefits, including complete medical coverage for you and Daniel. We'll cover all his treatments, all his medications, everything. Tears sprang to Maya's eyes. Why are you doing this? Alexander reached across the table and took her hand. Because last night, for the first time in months, I remembered what it feels like to care about something more than quarterly earnings. You reminded me why my father built this company, to help people. Let me help you. Let me help Daniel. And let's help thousands of other families together. Maya couldn't speak. She could only cry. All the fear, all the stress, all the sleepless nights worrying about how she'd pay the next bill, it all came pouring out. Is that a yes? Alexander asked gently. Yes, Maya sobbed. Yes, yes, yes. 6 months later, the Hayes Foundation for Pediatric Care opened its doors. Maya stood in the beautiful new office, looking at the walls covered with photos of children the foundation had already helped. Daniel's picture was right in the center, smiling, healthy, with hair growing back in soft tufts. His latest scans showed he was in remission. The doctors said it was a miracle. Maya knew it was Alexander. Speaking of Alexander, he appeared in her doorway, holding 2 cups of coffee. Morning, Mrs. Hayes. Maya laughed. You know I'm not actually Mrs. Hayes, right? Not yet, Alexander said with a mysterious smile. Over the past 6 months, their professional relationship had slowly become something more. Alexander visited the foundation constantly, always with an excuse about checking on things, but really, Maya knew, he was coming to see her. And she'd started looking forward to his visits more than she wanted to admit. Daniel's asking when you're coming over for dinner again, Maya said. He says you promised to teach him chess. Tonight? Alexander suggested. If you're free. We're always free for you, Maya said softly. Alexander set down the coffee cups and took both her hands. Maya, I need to tell you something. That night at the wedding, when I asked you to pretend to be my wife, I thought it was just about Victoria. About proving something to her. But the truth is, from the moment you said yes, from the moment we danced, I knew you were different. Special. And these past 6 months working with you, watching you pour your heart into helping other families, watching you with Daniel, I've fallen completely in love with you. Maya's breath caught. Alexander, I know this is crazy, he continued. I know we started with a fake marriage. But I want to make it real. I want to be there for every one of Daniel's doctor appointments. I want to teach him chess and help him with homework and watch him grow up. And I want to wake up next to you every morning for the rest of my life. Maya Chen, will you marry me? For real this time? He pulled out a small velvet box and opened it. Inside was the most beautiful ring Maya had ever seen. Tears streamed down her face. You really want to marry a waitress with a sick kid and more baggage than you can imagine? I want to marry the strongest, kindest, most incredible woman I've ever met, Alexander said. And Daniel isn't baggage. He's a gift. You're both gifts. Yes, Maya whispered. Yes, I'll marry me. Alexander slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her, and in that moment, Maya realized that sometimes miracles come disguised as desperate billionaires at weddings. 1 year later, Maya and Alexander stood at their own wedding, a real one this time. Daniel, healthy and happy, stood beside them as the ring bearer. As Maya said her vows, she looked out at the crowd and saw Victoria sitting in the back, watching with an expression that might have been regret. But Maya didn't care about Victoria anymore. She'd learned that the best revenge wasn't pretending to be happy, it was actually being happy. That night at the reception, as Maya danced with her husband, her real husband, Alexander whispered in her ear, "Remember when I paid you $10,000 to pretend to be my wife? How could I forget?" Maya laughed. "Best investment I ever made," Alexander said, pulling her closer. And as Maya looked around at Daniel laughing with other children, at the foundation that was changing lives, at the man who'd become her everything, she had to agree. Sometimes the most unexpected moments lead to the most beautiful destinations. And sometimes a single night of pretending becomes a lifetime of something real. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who believes in second chances and unexpected love stories. Remember, you never know when one moment of courage might change your entire life. Now tell me, do you believe that everything happens for a reason? That Maya was supposed to be at that wedding that night? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear what you think.